Last time on Zero Ops.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, guys. Dude, what the fuck is this game?
We are the Ares Confederation. Libertas Ares.
We're gonna die!
Martians!
Protect Berkelium at all costs! Where the fuck did that Gundam come out? Shit.
While details are still unknown, an all-out war with Mars seems imminent.
It happened. We're at war.
Well, hello, my beautiful people. My name is Get, and welcome back to Zero Ops. They just came out with episode 2 not too long ago, and we're gonna play it. Don't get me wrong, the first episode was a little bit short for my opinion. And I didn't get the controls, and I know I'm gonna be terrible, but let's continue. I am leaving off where we left off on episode 4. We're not doing the other routes. I want to do the main route I did with that one chick when we saved the Rhine. I want to say that's the name. So let us continue. Dot 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 dot. I gotta come up with voices again, really? Because last time I did this was a long time ago, when I was using a Blue Yeti, when I didn't have, me in the picture. So, it's a little bit weird. My audio was shit. It was bad. But, let's see. Captain, if Lieutenant Rutherford... I know, I'm thinking... The tension is in the air stick as we wait for Rutherford's return. I don't remember how to say his name. Ill content to glare at the news any longer, I fidget on my tablet in a poor attempt to pass the time. I should have expected as much when Doc said he'll deal with it after I agreed to leave for Venus with him. Considering how many ranks I skipped, I'm supposed to be grateful I wasn't barred from entering ranks at all. If this had been a test, I would have definitely been proud to repel an surprise enemy attack on orders as vague as self-directed patrols, but now?
At level 10, a level 10 warning has been issued for all civilian spacecrafts presented in the orbit zone 8 and beyond. All operating vessels will be grounded until further notice. Citizens are to stay indoors unless otherwise instructed by UTV personnel. I repeat, citizens are to stay indoors unless otherwise instructed by UTV personnel.
Should I have spoken up after all? If I just asked for her to delay the report, would this have played out the way it did? Could my actions have prevented this result? Even if the war is inevitable, watching the fleet get slaughtered is... I run my hands through my hair, trying to rake away the mess of thoughts clouding my head. There's no chance of us reaching Monshire before the battle is over, but we should be able to assist in blocking the Martians' advance. But Lapis is... It's done! I still remember his voice though. All of our heads snapped towards the sliding door, dumping a mess of parts onto the nearby table. Rutherford dusted off his jacket and gave us a nod. You guys should be good to go. This quickly? I said 25 minutes, didn't I?
As long as you can guarantee the ship won't fall apart on us, it's fine.
Are you certain it's wise to be cutting this many corners? Well, there's no denying the precarious nature of the situation, so we make the incorrect assessment. It will result in nothing but the destruction of our squadron.
What else can we do?
Understood. We'll assist in any way we can. Slight problem. Lapis is still out. I'll take at least a day just for the engine to restart.
Well, you two are welcome aboard if you're up for it.
You sure? I have clearance, but he doesn't yet. You know how HQ gets about unauthorized personnel.
As if anyone would be worried about. Lamo...
I forgot the name, so it's like...
my rest from my rest bucket. Any objections from you, Alan?
Despite his hesitation before, he doesn't pause to shake his head. None.
Exactly. Plus, I could use a second after Alistair packed up for the merchant life last month. Having an extra pair of eyes is always a bonus.
Understood. While I never acted as an adjacent, I'll help in any way I can.
I'll be counting on you then.
I nod, sneaking a sideways glance at Rutherford. After all the attention I received following the Damascus incident, it's not exactly unexpected that someone as high up as Commodore would recognize me, but why mention it now? Curiosity? Something else? If I had to guess, it's almost like he's trying to set me up for something. But why? None of his behavior over the last 5 months we've been traveling from Venus seemed to indicate he had anything in the mind outside of avoiding Doc's usually scrutiny when it comes to people bullying his lad. Damn it! Am I overthinking this again? Swallowing a sigh, I refocus myself on the here and now. We have a war to fight. Oh yeah, there's a war. So much has happened. I'm sorry, so much has happened. I played so many games, I'm like, I don't remember the story at all. The ship shudders as Captain Brooks serves us to the left to dodge a stray rocket. I'm thrown up back of the seat from the sheer G-force, but still managed to yell out a report. We're being ordered to fall back to orbit 13.
What about Monshire?
The majority of the UTV forces have already been mobilized.
And the civilians?
They're being considered as a lost cause.
Alan, cover Daniel's flank.
Understood. My grip on the unfamiliar tablet tightens, my frustration being the only thing keeping me from passing out. How did it descend to utter madness so quickly? What's the point of calling ourselves the United Terran Vanguard if the best we can do is barely cover a retreat?
Alan, 6 o'clock!
Dude, we are gonna die. I just started. Engine 3 is stalling!
Dispatch a team to stabilize it!
Understood! Unknown signature incoming! It doesn't appear to be Martian, but... it's Sarah!
Sierra?
Boom.
The Lamaminosos!
I'm saying this wrong. Can someone help me? Someone comment down below. Tell me how to say this.
The Lamanostrov ship.
Targets are changing course, Captain. They're focusing on Sierra.
Fahrenheit.
Her vector shield should be able to hold out for a few minutes.
Got it. Alan to her flank. Execute maneuver 3E and meet us starboard.
Hold your position, Brooks. Securing the retreating troops. We're pulling back.
Admiral?
That's an order. Monshire is lost. We've already wasted more than enough lives today.
Understood.
Meet up with 5th Fleet at orbit 12. We'll talk about your report back at HQ after the perimeter around New Hampshire is secured.
Yes, sir. Gunner gear, pull back. Focus on the retreating squads. Leave fighting to the Admiral. Admiral.
Dot 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 dot. I'll be returning to HQ. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
Ugh. The sound of voices roused me from my much-needed nap. With my aching limbs protesting their lack of rest, I staggered to my feet.
Oh, you're awake.
Was that Pete, the Admiral?
Yes, that was the Admiral.
Trying my best to ignore the inquisitive look in her eyes, I forced the topic forward. What are our orders?
Stall. He definitely wants to hear about the Ren attacks in more detail, but for now, it's all hands on deck and trying to keep New Hampshire. I hope you don't mind, but I already sent that engineer of yours back to HQ with the exo frame.
No, it's fine. Letting him work on what he does best rather than idly around the front lines is for the best.
I'm glad you agree.
Where are we now?
A temporary outpost we set up in New Franklin Station. It's a time substation on the edge of New Hampshire, so there isn't much fighting going on at the moment.
I hate it. Like, I can't click here, but I can click here. Are you kidding me? It's been half
an hour before we fully refuel and restock, but we're heading right back to the front lines, so I suggest being mentally prepared. Things are looking too optimistic.
I see. If we lose New Hampshire...
You know, for a rookie, you're taking this pretty well, all things considered. I'm almost tempted to make you my second permanently.
Please do not ask the impossible of him, ma'am. He's already has enough to content with as it is.
I know, but it's something to consider, right?
I'm afraid I have to pass up on that offer. Well, I'm unsure if the current situation changes things. I was already scheduled to take over as active captain on Sierra as soon as he fit for battle prior to leaving Venus.
Really now?
In that case, please allow me to introduce myself properly, saying that we'll likely be collaborating in the future. I'm Captain Alan. How the fuck do you say that name? Valario. I'm just gonna call you Alan. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna say his whole name. I'm Captain Alan Valario, adjacent of Squadron 559. My general duties includes taking command should Captain Brooks be able to under expect circumstances. I look forward to our continued work together. Valario? As my name would imply, I am the 12th main branch successor of the UTV tradition held by my family, as per their role as one of the 12 noble vanguards. I see. I had some inkling that he was related to nobility with the way he talked, but a primary noble of all things. Hero's will, my garbage luck is really working overtime, isn't it?
Jeez, Alan, do you have to scare the poor guy at the minute you introduce yourself?
Is that the impression I give? My sincerest apologies. It was not my intention to intimidate, but rather, I merely wish to inform you of the matter. Now there'll be no need to discuss it at a later date. With that said, I'll be grateful if you treat me like any other officer of my rank. Understood. I'll do as you say. Thank you, Fahrenheit.
If you boys are done with the pointless formalities, let's actually get some work done today. I'm joking, Alan.
Pulling out her tablet, Captain Brooks starts scanning the reports forward to her.
Looks like we have our work cut out for us. Gear up. We're heading back to orbit 13.
Ah, shit. Fuck. Critical damage to starboard hull.
Engage the emergency repair module.
A dungeon system flare as alarms begin to ring in the brig. We managed to hold out a week, but the fleet, the ships, our nerves, we're already at our limit. Emergency repair successful. We managed to prevent a hull breach in Deck 1. We need to pull back. HQ has already ordered a full retreat. Mom.
Everyone retreat. There's nothing more we can do.
Understood.
Accelerating to system speed.
The ship rattles as Captain Brooke pushes the engine to its limits. Forced back into my seat, I clench my teeth as we rapidly accelerate towards Earth in the distance. No one can bear to look as a swarm of red ships sweep over a bit of ground we spent the last 3 days struggling to gain.
Status!
No sign of pursuers. The Ares are focusing on securing New Hampshire. With this, the Ares are at our doorstep. And yet again, the Ares grip on the system Titans. It's darkness before dawn. We were supposed to hold on as much as we could until the UTV got its act together, but is there even room for dawn at this point? My grip tight. Oh, you know what I just noticed? I can't even duck down. I can't even duck down right now. Sorry, I'm blocking some words. Just trust that my reading abilities are on point. My grip on my tablet tightens. My heart clenches at the reality from me. If things keep progressing like this, how much longer until we lose the war altogether? Is this really something the UTV can pull back from? Dot 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 dot. Countless people in teal uniforms race up and down the halls. With potentially hundreds of ships needing repairs, I haven't so much as caught a whiff of Doc or Rutherford since we parted ways last week. Despite standing in the lobby outside of Peterson's office, I stare up at the ceiling, the sound of explosions and rattling of stained holes seeming to haunt me with every step. How many people did we lose? How did we lose that much ground so quickly? Even if the Martians had infiltrated as far as rain in the one-off surprise attack, don't we still have an edge technologically? Even if each individual vessel is less prepared to fight in a life or death battle, the UTP is still a standing army, isn't it? Well, you know what it could be? It could be like, I'm thinking nobility, right? So like how the French did it back then, right? When they fought all the armies of Europe, all the monarchies, all their leadership were nobilities, and they sucked ass. You got me. If you're nobility and you're like, know nothing about military something, they're like, you're a military commander. Bam! You're a commander of this army group. And it's like, fuck! We're screwed! The French are gonna kill us. It's like, you know what I mean? But then again, like, the Martians, right? Even if it's like low-tech, whatever, vessels, right? As long as they have a lot of them, they could probably win. You know? Okay, let's see. Even outnumbered, each officer has been trained to deal with threats against the systems, haven't they? Probably not. Probably they lied. How did we lose so badly against what should be an undisciplined Martian force? We already lost New Hampshire. Is there any possibility of us winning this war? Finally, the voice I've been waiting for to hear materialized from my tablet.
Commander Fahrenheit, please report to Admiral Peterson's office with all specified material. The Admiral will see you now. Ready?
I nod. Standing up, the two of us step into a sparsely decorated office and meet the stern middle-aged man at his desk. I apologize for the long delay in hearing your official report. With the UTV scrambled, we had no choice but to deploy every active vessel in the field to slow the Ares advance.
Ares?
The Ares Confederation. While originally an offshoot of the Martian militia, it seems more appropriate to refer to them as such, rather than lump the entirety of the Martian population within their ranks. I'm sure you would agree, Brooks.
I appreciate the sentiment, sir. However...
Is there something the matter?
No, I simply thought the name sounded familiar.
It should. The Ares are using the same branding as Ryan Maxillium's radical faction from over 3 years ago.
I thought they officially disbanded after her death.
On paper, yes. However, it seems that Mrs. Maximilian had a successor working in the shadows. We had originally... You know, I've been playing too many of, like, the slice of life anime where, you know, her stern thing, like, it should have been like, like, but it's like, you know, I've been playing too many of, like, making lovers and games like that, man. We had originally thought the low and large-scale Martian-led riots signal a downturn organized anti-signal organizations, but it now seems they were merely biding their time for a larger operation. Whether or not the Ares Confederation is as they originally were, their aims are still ultimately the same: the total takeover of Terra space.
Are you certain of that, sir? Their initial broadcast seemed to indicate they were aiming for Martian sovereignty.
That was the outward impression reasoning, yes. However, judging by their actions and the root of their organization, it's unlikely they would do any less than complete total takeover if we gave them the chance. Yeah. Complete takeover? There's no question the existence of fringe Martian groups that are aiming for something similar to complete takeover. Hell, there are even a few minor terror groups that want to expel all Martians out of the system, out of some ridiculous sense of Terran superiority. But unrealistic mission statements aren't an actual takeover. Assuming the Ares do manage to win this war, would it be logistical possible to keep their entire system under control without Signal in the first place? Like it or not, Signal Corps has been a cornerstone of human development ever since the Hero era. Even with their transition from a governing organization to more of a commercial one, it doesn't change the absolute control they have in all sectors of society, including the UTV, the Council, and every single colony that's ever been established. No matter how much anyone plans, dismantling Signal would mean... Now, about this attack. I jumped to attention at Peterson's voice. Damn it! I really need to stop getting caught up in the fine details. If my understand... Let me drink some water. If my understanding is correct, the Ares launched an attack on Rhines with the aims to disable Berculium. But how certain are you the attackers were Ares? The ships we fought were marked identically to the ones we faced while on the front lines. Yet, we haven't seen any indication as to how they managed to pass our patrols during the ceasefire. Perhaps we should double the patrols around Lucaros Novo after the situation in the front has stabilized. Has another attack occurred? No. However, we received reports of a sighting of an Ares squadron potentially returning from reconnaissance within orbit zone 14. The sighting originated prior to the negotiations. Thus, they weren't violating the ceasefire, but after Rhines, we can't afford to ignore anything. The reports aside, I've actually called you two here for another reason today. Is it regarding my promotion? Yes, exactly that. While you were working diligently to hold the front lines, the Admiralty Board has been looking into the disastrous outcome on Monshire. As such, we have come to the conclusion that several changes have to be made to our current fleet structure.
Meaning?
Without saying a word, the old man reaches into his desk drawer, his hands placing something on the desk in front of us before gesturing me to step forward. Congratulations to the both of you, becoming the two of the first Commodores to join First Fleet. Wait, what? Captain was already stretching it, but me? A Commodore? Like, what is that? Because I'm thinking naval, right? So, like, Captain is like, what? Captain is like, commanding a ship, right? But no, if Commodore is like an admiral, right? So technically, he's commanding fleets or something. Like, why do you want me to command a fleet? Like, we still got commanding a ship. We're getting our ass handed to us, and you want me to? Okay, screw it. How many people operating a single UTV? How many people operating a single UTV frigate? Dozens? Hundreds? It's definitely more than it takes to run Sierra with all her automated systems. No matter how small a squadron ends up being, that's at least to be 2 additional ships I would be in charge of. Putting all those lives in the hands of a complete rookie who hasn't even completed a formal mission, let alone captain a ship. As of today, you will both receive a new designation number and names. Brooks, Effective immediately. Your designation number is 101. Tentative name, Gun Gear.
Yes, sir.
As for you, Fahrenheit, you will receive commands of your squadron sometime next week. However, considering Sarah's experimental nature and what inspires this change, we decide to give you the designation number 100. Tentative squadron name Tau. No, I'm gonna question the decision. What? In what world? In what world? Imagine, like, okay, imagine military, right? The army, the marines, something, right? Maybe you graduate from college, then you enter military service. You go to officer school and you become like second lieutenant or the first lieutenant. I don't remember. Then all of a sudden, a general comes up and like, hey, buddy, you know how you just, got out of officer school? Yeah, we're gonna make you a colonel. How does that sound, buddy? We're getting our ass handed to us. You're a colonel now. You're gonna command like a brigade of like, what's a brigade? Like 10,000? More than that? Troops. Okay, have fun. Bye. It's like, come on. Question the decision. I'm honored, but I would like to hear on what basis the decision was made. While the question of whether or not I should be a Sierra captain relies primarily on my own familiarity with her, I have little to no experience acting as a commodore. If I'm being honest, I agree. However, unless an effort is made to optimize the command structure of the fleet, outcomes like today will merely continue to occur.
And you plan to do that by introducing new commodores into the mix?
That is correct. Of course, you're not the only one in such a position. Proper preparations have been made to accommodate the change. One of which is to have veterans guide the inexperienced.
Which is where I come in.
Indeed. However, this is purely voluntary. Should you reject the position, other arrangement will be made. Reject the position? Is he messing with me? Who the hell has ever rejected a direct order from the board and have gotten as far as the door without explicit noble backing? Well, Commander, I'm honored that the UTV views me so highly. While I'm uncertain of my own abilities, I'll try the utmost to meet all expectations aimed towards me. I see. I swallow, ignoring the flurry of emotions raging in the back of my mind as I reach for the polished bronze still lying on the desk. There really isn't coming back from this, is there? That is so stupid. Yeah, I mean, that is so stupid. You're a captain, right? Making it to a general today. You, other general, you're gonna be teaching this guy how to, how to do his job. Like, come on, that cannot. No, I don't care how badly you're getting your ass whooped in a war. That would never happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know nothing about World War II, but when the Germans were like getting their ass whooped, I don't think they made like, you just got out of officer school. You're general now. Lead our troops. I doubt it. It's not like how right now, how in 2020, where it's like, you got out of middle school? Go, we need you in the hospital. It, like, at least they had the training to be doctors. The people right here I did not have a training to be a commodore. Come on, man. No. First Fleet's role will be as it was before, acting as an elite, immediate response force in both major and minor operations. Why am I in First Fleet then, if it's elite? ¿Por qué? That's another thing. My God, man. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's like, if this was real life, I would not be getting this role. I would not. Your duty will to be accurately assess the information given to you, and appropriately choose which missions you feel your squadron is most suited to partake in between major operations. Of course, there's a limit to what a single squadron can accomplish. For that reason, we're introducing a partner system where 2 or more Commodores will act together in between major operations.
I assume we're partners then?
Exactly.
That worked out nicely, didn't it, Fahrenheit?
She threw her arms around my shoulder, practically dragging me off my feet as she slaps my shoulder with a hearty laugh. Despite the rough treatment, I managed to flash her a genuine smile. A week isn't enough to understand someone's character, but considering the lack of issues so far, there really isn't a choice more in my favor. Seeing as all of the 559 is already thoroughly exhausted, you are all to have the rest of the day off until Sierra is fully battle ready.
What exactly is she still missing, sir?
Do you have any significant interest in her, Brooks?
But Captain wouldn't after seeing her in action.
Then, that makes things easier. In exchange for your efforts in familiarizing Fahrenheit with his role as Commodore, would you like to relocate onto the Sierra to observe her day-to-day operations during non-critical operation hours? Of course, your adjacent of squadron is welcome to come aboard as well. Ideally, you should acquaint yourself with the ship, as it may serve as a prototype for further vessels to come.
Seriously? I accept 100%! I'll start packing my bags the minute we're out of here. Thank you for having me, Fahrenheit.
She slaps my shoulders once more, the somber attitude of yesterday seemingly gone with the wind. I'm not sure what exactly, but this is probably better than soaking, right? The best of luck to both of you. We're counting on you to protect the citizens of Terra and free us from the Ares scourge. Understood. Flashing Peterson practice salutes. Captain Brooks and I turn marching out of the office, each consumed by our own thoughts. Our salute seems to inject a bit of vigor into the man as he mirrors it back at us with a hopeful expression. With orders issued, the 2 of us leave Peterson to his work. he's like, because he saluted us back, right? He's like, this is either going to go really well or we are all fucked. You know that, right? Despite Captain Brooks' good mood, I can't help but worry. A rookie acting as a Commodore? No matter how good on paper, this is beyond reckless, isn't it? Logistically, I understand the shift. The more individuals' attention vessels getting during the heat of battle, the better their adaptability and coordination as a cohesive unit. Assuming the Commodore in charge actually has the ability to use their troops properly, at least. My hands tighten around the badge, still pressed against my palm. Ready or not, I just have to make the most out of it, and do what I can if that's what the board wants done. After 20-some years of being jerked one direction or another, trying is really all I can do. Okay. We still got some time. Let's go to the UTV labs. Dots, so many dots. I scan over the list of names, new and familiar. This should be the last time in terms of paperwork. I have to take a closer look at the senior officer's files later, but I should probably take a glance at the crew first. Looks like we retain a few few crew members from Venus, but Signals replaced the majority of her personnel for low-ranked UTV recruits. I shouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't want to go to battle in a ship commanded by an academy dropout either, but it's still disappointing not being able to personally thank everyone for tolerating my fumbles over the year. And I guess there's always after the war, assuming we all survive at least. Swallowing my pessimistic mood, I focus on the list. I doubt I'll be able to memorize everyone's names and faces, but the junior crew should be no problem, at least. Starting the CIC. First, we have Warrant Officer Ann Flores. Looks like she chose to stay despite Harper leaving to serve on a different vessel. She's the most responsible of the original 3 junior CIC officers, so it'll be good to have her act as a temp head CIC officer until the UTV assigns us someone to take the role. He looks like an asshole just looking at him. Next, there's Petty Officer Shane Dermont. He looks like an asshole, and this is like his friend, like, come on, he's not really a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty cool. Actually, Lucas Arnie made it on board as well. They've always worked as a pair, so it's good they stayed together. Looks like we actually retained everyone minus Harper. Not bad, all things considering. I'd rather work with people I'm familiar with than not in the heat of battle. Engineering, on the other hand, are pretty much entirely new people. Rutherford will be there to keep them under control, so I probably leave them alone, but better to know them than not. First is Tom Barrett. He seems to be the creative genius type, but considering my experience with Freya, responsibility probably isn't his strong suit. Then again, Rutherford can handle Freya, so I doubt he have too much trouble with him. Next is Nicole Rogers. Her files paints her as a spunky, ambitious type, but considering she's made it into this post as a fresh Damascus Academy graduate, she's probably a hard worker at least. Lastly, rounding out our engineer is Mikhail Brander. I don't know much about him, but he's from the Venus team, so his skill level is definitely high. Hopefully, he'll be able to help Rutherford stabilize the situation with 2 or more loose cannon types around, but I should be able to count on him to do an alright job at least. That should be every... Ah, right, we have a new nurse. Look at this boy. Hold on. Can I, hold on. Look at this guy. He's like, I'm tired of life. I just want to go to bed. I don't want to be here. Why am I here? Someone comes into his office. He's like, what pains you, child? Or like, or in the back of his head, he's like, fuck, I just wanted to sleep. While an active physician would be better, he has lengthy experience serving on ships, both military and civilian. I have to see how well he adapts to the med bay being fully automated, but there shouldn't be too many issues with the onboard AI helping him. Looks like I may have my cutout work out for me. Huh? Not quite like being held responsible for the lives of dozens of good people. Signing the last page, I get up from the table and sigh. Not much longer until I'm formally captain of my own ship and commodore of my own squadron. I drift towards the false window, the blue glow of Earth in the distance sending a strange sense of nostalgia through my body. How many times have I stared at the planet like this? 1,000 times? 1,000,000 times? What would the young me feel if he knew I'll be looking out at the familiar blue ball, a day away from being handed the success I desperately grabbed at to justify my own existence? Disdain, probably. I guess not much has changed in that respect. I take a deep breath, focusing back on what's actually important. Since Peterson insisted on putting me on here, I have no choice but to try to familiarize myself as quickly as possible. Even if Captain Brooks is here to help, over-relying on someone else is a recipe for disaster. The last thing I want to do is be dead weight for First Fleet while pulling down the Lamosov engine project's credibility with me. Switching the active screen to today's schedule, I follow the list down until I hit the last entry. Double check on Sierra's upgrade progress. It'll be a good chance to speak with the old man face to face before I had to head back into combat. ... I am gonna end it here. I know, it's a bad place to end it. I get it. But let me tell you what. I don't know when I have to, stop. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out as we go, but like for every new game I play, or, new games I'm replaying, it's hard to know when to stop. So I'm sorry if this episode stops so abruptly, right before we need to talk to the father. I am sorry. I am only one person. Please forgive me. Lo siento. I'm sorry, okay? Alrighty. If you like today's episode, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, see whenever I post, and leave a comment. Alrighty. I will see you mañana. Alrighty. This is Gat saying farewell. And as always,
Bye bye!